But then you know that I bring you up, and then you bring.
I did not know that. So
Okay.
okay.
And then you can say something to me. We can talk about it. You good with that?
Sure.
Okay.
Right here.
Okay. And you can bring me up. All right. Let me know when we're ready. All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here today. I wanted to give the community an update on Operation Justice for Zion. As part of our commitment to keeping the community informed, we will do these as this operation continues through the various phases. This is phase one, and this is our first update. I do want to point out that if there is a significant announcement, we will identify that as a significant announcement for your benefit so that you can understand that we're going to be announcing something significant at that time. Today is an update. We won't classify it as a significant update, but it is an update to provide you with some information. As you can see, this is a massive operation, and I'm going to take a moment to recognize all of our partners. But first, I want to recognize the members of the Detroit Police Department who have volunteered to work this assignment, work in, as you can imagine, a very difficult operation with the heat, the weather, and the fact that they are working at a dump site. It is certainly a difficult circumstance, and I could not be more proud and appreciative of the men and women of the Detroit Police Department, as I indicated, who have volunteered to work this detail. So thank you to them. I also want to thank the Detroit Fire Department, the Detroit Department of Public Works, our General Services Department, the Sheriff's Office, Wayne State, as we talked about, Macomb County Executive's Office, Macomb County Sheriff's Office, State Police, Attorney General's Office, Washtenaw County, Lenox Township, Michigan CAT, and the list goes on and on. But in the interest of time, if I miss any names, I will make sure that I pick them up at a later time. But again, thank you, and thank you to the Public Safety Director in this city for allowing us access to his building and for assisting us. A number of financial contributions and other things have gone into this process. It began with the removal of 20 feet of material that is above the focus area. Again, it's 20 feet of material that sits right above the focus area, and they've already started removing that material and going through that material. This requires some heavy equipment, which was provided by Michigan CAT, and a road is being installed now that leads to the search area, and a search deck will be built and will be built to utilize for us to go back and forth in that area. The phase one teams will work to create a safe work environment so the material in the focus area can be removed and transported to a safe area for inspection. We expect phase one to take approximately 2 weeks, and with a detailed search in the area commencing at around June 15th. Again, thank everyone for their patience. We are committed to bringing justice to the Zion family. Very tragic situation, but we're doing what's right for the right reasons, and we're going to do everything we possibly can to bring some degree of closure. Will never be complete closure, but some degree of closure and justice to this family. At this time, I'm going to bring Commander McGinnis up from Homicide to discuss some findings. Commander.
Thank you, Chief.
Good afternoon, everyone. First, I'd like to, again, extend my condolences to the family. I would ask everyone to keep them in your thoughts and prayers. Very difficult time for them as they try to heal from this tragic loss. I did speak with, and my team spoke with the mom this morning. We gave her a briefing, and all things considered, she seemed in good spirits. She seemed appreciative of this effort. So as the chief said, we began phase one. That began on Tuesday afternoon, and that is the removal of 20 feet of what were described as unfocused material. That process is moving along just as we expected. There's been some inspection of the material as we've been pulling it out to try to confirm some information that we're working with, and that has resulted in a positive finding. And by that I mean we've pulled out a piece of mail and that mail is in the date range that we would expect it to be, and it's from an address that is corresponding with information, not a specific address, but it's from Detroit. So we're confident that the information we're working with is accurate, and what we have found so far is supporting that. So with that, we'll know more as phase 1 continues over the next several days, but we believe we're on track to begin phase 2, which is a more detailed inspection of the focus material for Wednesday, June 15th. And with that, I would like to bring up Patty from the Detroit Public Safety Foundation, who's been an incredible partner in this endeavor.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you all media that are here and helping us to alert the public to the needs of this massive operation. It's been very helpful to have our website and the phone number 313-434-2761 for donations. I was very happy this morning. I got a call from Grand Lodge in Detroit who heard about your information and called and is going to make a large donation among their members. So we're very excited about that. Turns out that lodge has family from Zion Foster's family, so they're happy to have that connection as well. They didn't really realize this until you publicized the need for donations. So Chief did talk about the numerous law enforcement partners that we have out here. Our corporate partners, DTE has been a massive donator to this event. This is about $250,000 right now of supplies and equipment. So the donations above that, the Marathon Petroleum, Michigan Cat was mentioned, Detroit Lions, Little Caesars Pizza is helping us, National Coney Island Table for 20 event space, Myers, Detroit Athletic Club Foundation is being a very supportive partner, Home Depot, Blaze Contracting, U.S. Ecology. We are going to provide 3,100 meals plus, there'll be breakfasts and lunches. We've at this time received about $2,600, but we do have a commitment from the DAC Foundation to help be reimbursed up to about $16,000. So we hope that the first responders that are coming from all over our southeast community will have good food while they're doing this important search, won't have to leave, won't have to bring their food in, they'll just be working, be able to have a nice breakfast, lunch, and then go back to work. So some of the materials that have been donated or purchased, there's 3,600 hazmat suits, we have socks, coolers, there's about 6 or 8 coolers for a lot of the water and the Gatorades to be in there. There's, I think, at least 11 pallets of water and 600 of Gatorades. We have shoe inserts, rakes, shovels, buckets, hand sanitizer, Clorox wipes, wood stakes, tape, boots, plywood, and I mentioned the water and the Gatorade, which is very important. We certainly need more donations. You know, all of a sudden there's surprise costs that come up. It's about a $5,100 surprise cost for asphalt that really wasn't anticipated. So we will be using a lot of these donations to make sure, first and foremost, that the first responders are fed, and second, of course, to make sure that they have all of the supplies that they need to safely perform this difficult work. But we want to thank you again for publicizing DetroitPublicSafety.org for our website and the phone number 313-434-2761. Thank you so much.
And again, I want to thank you all for keeping this case in the media and making sure that everyone is aware, and thank you for publicizing the fact that we do need assistance, and we're very thankful for the support and the partnerships that we've gotten from around the city. And so with that, I'll take any questions.
On the 15th, if that's the starting date, how do you anticipate the time you start and then the time you end during the day?
Well, we really don't know. I mean, the experts here this is something that's never been done at DPD. We've got some people that's working on this project that have experiences with other types of digs, but this is just an unknown circumstance, having to take on something like this. But again, we're doing it for the right reasons, and we think anything that we can do to help find this little girl, we should be doing.
How are you able to, the question for that, John, sorry, was it's getting hotter.
Yep.
And in suits, it's got to be tough. Extended hours doing this.
Yeah, and that's what the planning stages of this. They talked through that. They talked to some people who were experts in the field. One of the sergeants that's working on this project has had a number of meetings, Sergeant Jones, to talk through, how long you can be in the Tyvek suit. You have to have groups of people cut you out the Tyvek suit, give you a clean, sterilized suit. How long can you be in it? How long can you be in the pit, looking through the material? As it gets hotter, it becomes more challenging. So it's a lot to this. And again, we've got officers who have volunteered. And it's a proud moment for our department that we've got people willing to step up and do something so unusual but so necessary.
I've read it's a 100 by 100 foot area.
Mm-hmm.
What can you share in regard to how it was isolated, where you were looking?
Yeah, and so again, they did a lot of work with waste management. The people who run this facility, they were able to isolate an area where it's likely the particular area would be that we need to focus on. They were able to isolate it with that 100 by 100. And then there's a lot of other things that went into that. A number of different assessments, multiple conversations and meetings. There's some looking at dump dates and camera activity from the dump and when they pick up in certain areas. And they were able to isolate that there's a higher likelihood in this 100 by 100 area that we're going to be searching, that if in fact the victim is here, this is the area she would likely be in.
In layperson's terms, are you able then to describe it as just taking that 100 by 100 and going 20 feet down?
It's much more complicated than that. That first 20 feet gets that material off of the area that they want to focus on. And so that first 20 feet, they pull that off. They literally take it to an area, spread it out, and go through that material looking to ensure that we're in the area we should be. And as the commander indicated, they did some of that already, and they were able to find some mail from Detroit. We're not in Detroit, so that tells us, okay, well, this is some areas where some trash from Detroit was dumped. So we're in the right area now. Let's keep looking in that area to see if our victim is anywhere near that area. And they're doing some other things that I'm not going to get into right now. I'm purposely not getting too granular with it, but they're able to. There's going to be certain things that tell them that we're where we should be in this search. One of the things that we consider to be a positive is that they've identified that mail from Detroit. And that piece of mail tells us that this is generally the area we should be in.
I was going to ask you, how significant is that when that was found, the mail?
Well, I think it's significant for this team because, now we know, okay, this is a Detroit depository for this environment here. And so, and based on some date ranges and things like that of the mail, that tells us a lot of information for this investigation.
Can we see the site from the road? Is that kind of at the apex up there, or is it on the other side?
I believe it's on the other side. I'll let somebody who's actually.
Don't know if it's related.
So the site, when you go on 29 Mile, if you look to the landfill to the east of here, you'll see up the hill. It's basically right there, but it's back probably a couple hundred yards.
I want to be careful how I ask this, not to be insensitive, but when you make a judgment of doing this type of an exercise to solve a crime, find a body versus cost involved, how do you weigh that? I don't mean to be insensitive that it's not worth doing, but I hope you get the intent of the question.
I do get the intent of the question. We have to look at a number of different, not just economics, but the risks involved in the people who are doing the search. There are a lot of things in dump sites that I learned about recently that I knew nothing about. There are carcinogens. There are a number of different factors that we have to protect everyone from. And when we talked to some experts and they told us what to be aware of, we had to weigh that. And then there's a tremendous cost involved, which is why it's important to thank these people who have stepped up for us through the Public Safety Foundation and made donations so that we can do this. Certainly, when you're talking about a young woman who was murdered, likely murdered in our city or somewhere, we know that our evidence supports the fact that she is likely dumped in this site. And so to bring closure to that family and to be in law enforcement and to be a dad, you do this because it's the right thing to do. And when you talk about costs and you talk about all those things, we're going to keep going until the money runs out, and we're going to try to find more money, and then we phase this thing out where, you know, when we get to a certain point, we'll sit down and assess the likelihood of recovery based on what we found to this point. But there are a number of different things that play into this. But certainly we want to bring some degree of peace and closure to this family who have just been through it. And so we're going to keep going.
Do you have any idea on cost of what it would even approach?
It's going to be significant. I know if you heard the numbers that Patty Kakula put out already, you know, we're well over $200,000 and still going. But again, we've got great support from the community, as we always do. We've got officers volunteering. We've got these law enforcement partners behind me, city officials that are giving resources to us. We've got our fire department. So the cost of bringing us home is what the cost is, and that's what we're going to try to do.
As far as that piece of mail goes, is the zip code from that mail in alignment to where she was last seen, or is it in alignment to Greenfield and Glasser?
Great job. I can't give you that. That's a great job, though. All
I
right.
don't want to put anybody on the spot, but I wanted to see if Sergeant Jones would be willing to talk about Miss Milton's handwritten message to the searchers on the board. It's with her picture on there about it. How it's inspiration for people to see as they arrive in the morning. How important is that to look at her words when you arrive?
Yep, so I haven't seen it yet. I know we did have those photos she sent to me, and we created a poster so her kids and their family could be involved in it. And that's something that we will have here for the searchers. Everybody's already here knowing what they're going to do, but sometimes when you see a picture or you see a face, it helps when you're feeling tired to give you that little extra burst of energy.
Can you identify yourself?
Shannon Jones, Sergeant from Detroit Police.
Chief, while you're here, if you're able, there's been some accounts about the cousin allegedly denied seeing her, then said he panicked, saw the body. Can you add any clarity in regard to where she was believed to be dumped, in what area, and or that story involving that relative?
Yeah, I'd rather not do that for this briefing. I'm really not prepped on that. I've been centrally focused on providing you with this information, but we can do that offline or at a later time.
All right.
I just really wanted to highlight for the community that the work continues, to thank our partners, stay focused and committed to providing a weekly update, identify for you all that if there's a significant update, it will be identified as such, and really thank this team, Shannon, Sergeant Jones, I'm sorry, the team that she's assembled and working with, and really our partners from around the state that have stepped up to help this little girl in our community, which is so important, and to let you all know that we're not going to stop looking for her. We're going to do everything we can. I don't know the outcome, but I know the effort, and the effort will be there, and we hope for the best. So thank you all.